Hi everyone, thank you for joining my channel. Today I thought I'd show you how I made these birthday cards, specifically male birthday cards, which we all know can be a struggle at times, but I've used the fracture technique. It seems to be quite popular at the moment on Facebook and I've really loved the look of it and thought, well, let's give it a go. And I've done mine in 5x7. They are really easy to make, so let me show you how. So the papers I'm going to be using today are these from Craft Consortium, and it's the metal textures. It's an 8x8 paper pad and it just has different, well, metal textures in silvers, the greys and sort of the coppery colours. Really lovely. And they're also double-sided as well, which in this project is really handy because you can just only use one 8x8 sheet. And so what you're going to want is to cut one of your 8x8 papers and cut this at 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and then keep the pieces to the side because you're going to be using them a little later. I'm then using some little strips, and this is a copper paper. Now this is actually also from Craft Consortium. I will just add, I don't work for them, I'm not associated with them, I literally just ordered them this week and so they came really quickly, but this is their copper mirror card. They've got other colours as well. The other colour on this one was gunmetal, from the same company. I'll pop links down below actually so you can order them if you want them. So yeah, these little strips are just 1/4 inch wide, and I literally, you'll only need 2, and I just snipped them off the top of the A4 like that, so you only need a small amount of that. You're then going to want a card base. So this card is 5x7, so it's 10 inches wide by 7 high, scored at 5 inches in the middle. I've chosen to do mine in black, and then I've done my first mat in white, and this is 5 7/8. No, it's not, it's 4 7/8 by 6 7/8. I'll have the measurements on the screen, so follow those. You then want a piece of card that is 2 5/8 by 2 5/8, and this is this part here. So you can actually have that, if you don't like measuring 5/8, you could have that at 2 1/2 or slightly bigger at 2 3/4. But this is 2 5/8 by 2 5/8. I just find that is quite a nice size. And then I've just got a scrap piece for inside my card, purely because it's black and I obviously need space to write. So we're going to start off with our pattern paper, and you want to grab a piece of copy paper and you actually want to cut that down to the same size as your pattern paper, because I've got a feeling I'm going to be making a lot of these, so I want a template so that I can position my square in the centre each time rather than having to eyeball it. And then what you want to do is just fold this in half, so line up the edges and fold it up in half like that. Open it up and then fold it the other way, making sure those edges are lined up. Okay, you don't need to burnish it with a bone folder or anything, it's just so that you've now got that cross going down the middle of your paper. And then grab your square that you're going to be having on in the middle of your card and line up the points with the folds on the paper. Just move it around until all the points are lined up with the folds that you've just made. So I will draw around mine and then I can show you. Okay, so you've then got that. See how the points are lined up to the creases. And then once you've got that, if you then turn it over and fold it in half again, you should already have the crease line. like that. So you've now got the top part of a triangle there. You can then just cut this section so with the folded end at the bottom, just cut up your lines that you've just made. Like that, and then when you open it up, you've then got that shape in the middle. And now when you position that over your pattern paper, line up the edges, and you'll know then that your square is going to be in the middle. So once you've got that lined up, I'm just going to stick mine down with a bit of tape to keep it in place. You then just want to get your square and just glue that into the middle. You can then move your paper out the way and just hold it up and just check it's where you want it. Like that. And then I shall save this for the next cards. So the next step is to grab your little thin strips that you've made, and you could have these thicker if you want to, but 1/4 of an inch just seems to be a nice width. And just, you're going to be lining up the strip with the top edge of the square, like that. So line it up, see roughly where it comes off the edge, and I just put my thumb there just for reference, because you just want to apply glue on that part for now. You don't want to put it all over. And then line the strip up with the top edge of your diamond as it is now, and just push that down. Okay, and so then I will cut this bit off now. So that's nice and flush. And then line up your next piece, and if you're doing 5 by 7 like me, you'll see that you've only got a small bit hanging over, so there's hardly any wastage at all. And then just line it up so that it butts up to the top here. And if, like me, you get a bit of glue on your mirror card, I just use a wet wipe. You don't want a wipe that's too wet, so I tend to get one out sort of half an hour before so that it's not soaking wet, and that just cleans off any glue that might go on your card. So then grab your second strip, again line it up so that you know where to put the glue. There we go, so that's all the edges cut, so you should now have that, and you can just leave it at that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It looks lovely as it is as well. So the next step is to grab your other pieces that you had from your 8 by 8, and because this is double-sided, we can now turn it over. So if your paper isn't double-sided, you can either just keep it like that, or you'll just need to use another sheet to do this next part. So it's a case now of just deciding which pattern you want where. So I quite like this sort of dotty pattern, if you like. There's probably a technical name for it in metalwork, but I don't know what that is. So yeah, I'm going to keep this pattern here. So this one, I'm going to put this lovely sort of flat metal look on there. So you just that's going to just go on there like that. So the easiest way to do that is to just add some glue into this section and then just place your pattern paper so that it butts up to your strips that you've made, or stuck down rather, not made. And then just turn it over and just cut round. Okay, so you've now got that, and then we'll do the same down here. So now what I'm going to do is stamp my sentiment. So the stamp set I'm using is this one here, Wishing You a Very Special Birthday. This is actually a set from Crafter's Companion that I bought a couple of years ago. I think it's called the Ultimate Verse Compendium. The handy thing is it's got a folder with all different sentiments, and these are birthday for mail, so they're a bit more sort of bold, ideal for mail cards. And I'm going to heat emboss mine, I think, with black ink to then incorporate the black card base. So I shall use an anti-static bag. And you might find that it will bend slightly, but it will soon flatten out, and I'm going to be adhering all of it to my card base anyway, so it will then flatten itself out. And I've actually got a few speckles of black there. I actually think in this instance it doesn't really matter. I think it just sort of adds to the effect of this sort of dirty metal type look, so that's fine. Now excuse me, if you want to, you can actually just leave that as is and stick that onto your white mat there and then put that onto your card. But like the other one, I'm actually going to run it through an embossing folder, and this time I'm going to, well, I'll show you. With this one I used an embossing folder from Stampin' Up, but I don't think it's a current product anymore. They tend to retire their products, so you can only then get them second hand if anyone's selling them. But it's the what have I done with it? The So Subtle, I think it's called. Let's have a look. Oh, Subtle. It's the Subtle embossing folder. It's one of those that, I mean, I will always keep in my stash because it's a lovely folder. This one I'm going to, I've got a dotty folder from Marianne Design. I actually can't remember where I got this from. May have been Amazon, but it's just a dotty folder, so I thought that might work because I've got this sort of hammered look, if you like, on there. Now I thought I'd show you, because this is a 6x6 embossing folder and obviously our card's 5x7, so I thought I'd quickly show you how you can still emboss this even though the embossing folder's smaller than my panel. So grab your embossing machine, whichever one you have, and I'm going to put my panel inside. Let me zoom out a bit. I'm going to put my panel inside as straight as I can, like that, and then just run that so it's sticking out at the bottom. I'm going to run it through my machine, but I'm only going to go sort of about 3/4 of the way down. I don't want it to go all the way down in case I then get a line from the edge of the embossing folder. So just go down about 3/4 of the way. Okay, so I've now got that, and then the embossing obviously stops here. That looks really good actually, I'm pleased with that. So then what you want to do is turn it round, because we now want to emboss the bottom part, and you'll find where it's embossed you should be able to move it around until what's already been embossed sits in place like that. So I can now feel that the embossing, the bits that have already embossed, are now sitting back on the embossed bits here. I really hope that makes sense. So then when I close this, I can see that the dots are lining up with the other dots that I've already done, and then you can run that through again. There we go. That then gives us a complete embossed panel. And so now we've got that, we can now start to put our card together. So we'll put this panel, actually that really looks good the other way as well, the debossed. There we go. And I love the embossing detail on there. Perfect mail card. And for inside, I've just got a, as I said, a scrap piece and a little strip from my pattern paper. And I think I will just, well, I think I'll use that one actually. So I'm just going to glue that to the bottom. There we go, there's our finished cards, very quick and easy. I'm going to make some more of these actually, more sort of feminine cards, and then sort of have some flowers and things on the side, embellishments. But anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, I'd love it if you subscribe to my channel. And also if you hit the bell icon, you'll be notified when I upload another video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.